what do our friends in the media have to say about Sound of Freedom? Do they like the sound that they're hearing? As the sun rises and sets, if there is a movie about Tim Ballard stopping child sex trafficking, somehow some woke writers will be angry about it. Now, why is that? I've been very critical of our woke friends on the last few streams, and this is what I would say to anyone of any political side that's listening or watching, whether you like what I have to say or not. I mean this quite seriously. We should look for what we have in common rather than what is driving us apart. And if any olive branch is ever extended in our direction, I am happy to extend one in return. Certainly this channel is not a channel that is intended to divide people. It really isn't. You know, my default state is a state of friendship with any fellow human. What bothers me is when a dogmatic ideological view is literally throwing aside just one issue that we could put aside our differences to come together on. And what do we get? Well, we get headlines like the ones that I'm pulling up for you now. Captain's Log, previously on the Captain's Cast live stream, live every Thursday and Sunday with me, Captain Garrett. Now, this one's not too bad. I saw this and I thought, to be fair to the mainstream media, Sound of Freedom, faith-based movie. It's not a faith-based movie. Now, why is it? How come we don't say leftist-based movie when something like, The Proud Family comes out? Leftist-based TV show, The Proud Family. No, we never say that. Like wacko leftists make it. We never have to say wacko leftist-based movie. Notice how anyone that is not on their team, so to speak, anyone that they take issue with, it's if they choose to make something creative, it's conservative. It's a MAGA supported. It's a QAnon adjacent. Sound of Freedom, faith-based movie, scores impressive $10 million in pre-sales. Sound of Freedom, a faith-based film about child sex trafficking, is shaping up to be an unlikely box office hit. Variety's Owen Gleiberman wrote, "Let's assume that, like me, you're not a right-wing fundamentalist conspiracy theorist looking for a dark, faith-based suspense film to see over the holiday weekend. Even then, you needn't hold extreme beliefs to experience Sound of Freedom as a compelling movie that shines an authentic light on one of the crucial criminal horrors of our time, one that Hollywood has mostly shied away from." So look how begrudging. This is a positive review. Look at how he's holding his nose to admit this is a good film. That's unbelievable. No, sir, you do not have to be a right-wing fundamentalist. This film is not preaching at anyone. Unlike a woke movie, this movie is not preaching Christianity. It's not preaching conspiracy theories. There's no mention of the Orange Man in this. None of that. None of it. Nobody's being guilt-tripped here. And look at how they view. Oh my God, I can't go see it. It was made by right-wing people, and they're gross, and everything they touch sucks. I guess. What does Rolling Stone have to say? Sound of Freedom is a superhero movie for dads with brain worms. The QAnon-tinged thriller about child trafficking is designed to appeal to the conscience of a conspiracy-addled boomer. Ew. That's unbelievable. Now, can I just show you something else that Rolling Stone had to say a while back? May I? Cutie's Review, this is from Rolling Stone. Cutie's Review, a coming-of-age movie caught in the culture wars. That this would be the sick, pedophilic movie about young girls being in beauty pageants. Thanks to a major marketing mistake, this award-winning French movie has been accused of sexualizing girls. It's actually a sensitive portrait of growing pains that deserves to be seen. Oh, they love cuties over there at Rolling Stone, don't they? No, but Sound of Freedom, no, that's for dads with brain worms. What does Washington Post think about it? From the Washington Post, Sound of Freedom is a box office hit whose star embraces QAnon. So notice the film has nothing about QAnon in it. Nothing about QAnon is in the marketing of the film. The director has said nothing about QAnon. But because Jim Caviezel has said things in agreement with QAnon, therefore, that is what this film is about. Look at how snotty this subheadline is. The low-budget film about child sex trafficking almost topped the box office on July 4th. Almost. Got to throw that in. But its star, Jim Caviezel, has linked it to the QAnon movement. You know, I am no fan of QAnon. So for those who don't know what QAnon is a or multiple posters who used to post on 4chan what could be described as conspiracy theories about an international child sex trafficking ring that involves Hillary Clinton and a pizza restaurant in New York and various different things. I'm no fan of this. You know, I am a big believer. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. If there is evidence, I'm willing to hear it. It's why guys like Alex Jones, even though they go on some wild tangents that I find completely implausible, when they are close to the mark, I am open to hearing what they have to say, as I am with anyone. I'm no fan of QAnon, and I'm telling you, this film is excellent. It doesn't have even the hint of something like that. There are no wild... In fact, I think what's most notable about Sound of Freedom is how sober and grounded it is. How, like, you watch this movie, no matter what your political views, and you're gonna, if you're normal, you're gonna come away with it saying, this is absolutely happening. This is happening, and it has to stop. We need to get our house in order and put a stop to this. Now, this is what the Washington Post has to say about it. But what did the Washington Post think of Cuties? Cuties is an unflinching look at what it means to be a preteen girl. No wonder people can't handle it. This from Monica S. If you can weed whack past the drama surrounding it, angry politicians, QAnon, a terrible ad campaign followed by misguided petitions, you can perhaps enjoy Cuties for what it is. One of the more compelling movies you've seen in months. Funny and deeply uncomfortable, sweet and sometimes sad. Now, why is it that they can't be fine with the fact that Sound of Freedom is deeply uncomfortable? It is. It's deeply uncomfortable. But they seem very comfortable with Cuties. They seem very comfortable with that. And you know, they really don't like that QAnon was criticizing this pedophilic movie at all. Now, isn't that curious? Isn't that curious? From Variety. Variety is actually reasonably fair. Sound of Freedom review, Jim Caviezel anchors a solidly made and disquieting thriller about child sex trafficking. It's been sold as a conservative thriller, but you didn't need that mindset to find it compelling. They were so close. They were so close to one honest headline. Just one. It is a solidly made and disquieting thriller about child sex trafficking. And then but it's been sold as a conservative. It's by who? Nobody is selling this as a conservative thriller. Now, conservatives, by word of mouth, may be spreading the word about it, but why would we have to do that? Why would conservatives have to do that? Could it be things like shadow banning, deplatforming, media lying? Could it be the fact that when Disney gets a hold of a movie like this, they shelve it and make the filmmakers fight tooth and nail to get it back just to get it made? Could that be the reason? Surely not. Oh, yes. Lest I forget. This from The Guardian. Sound of Freedom, the QAnon-adjacent thriller seducing America. You know, I would just love it if we could start labeling every woke leftist piece of trash movie woke, insane, leftist adjacent. Woke, leftist, insane, adjacent Indiana Jones 5 and the Dial of Destiny. To the victor go the spoils. When you control all the levers of the media, you get to make the narrative, don't you? You get to decide. You get to decide that everyone who doesn't think like you, everyone who disagrees with you, everyone with a slightly different religious belief system, they are adjacent to whatever you hate. Jim Caviezel stars as a hero, trying to stop child traffickers in a paranoid new movie, turning into a surprise box office hit. No thanks to you assholes. Paranoid. You know what? Maybe we need a little paranoia about this subject. You know, we have put up with the shill media for quite some time, maligning liberal, moderate, centrist, conservative, libertarian, anarcho-capitalist, basically apolitical, non-political people. In other words, everyone to the right of absolute total insanity have been maligned. We have one film, one sober, authentic film that is sounding the alarm about child sex trafficking, and to them it's paranoid. It's QAnon adjacent. Well, we will not desist. We will continue making films like this. We will continue supporting films like this. The woke trash fires, Indiana Jones, The Flash, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Blue Beetle, Batman is a fascist. They will continue to go down in flames. Welcome to the Iron Age. This, The Sound of Freedom, is an Iron Age film. And we march on. We will not be silenced. We, the honorable, the moral people, the morally conscious people of all political views, we will show up to these films. We will shell out our hard-earned dollars for these films, and we will inflict defeat after defeat after defeat on the shill, fake, phony media, the lying corporate masters of these boondoggles, destroying all of our characters, and we will create new things. We will not be dissuaded by your lies. We will not be silenced. There is no deplatforming movement that can get rid of all of us. There's more of us every day. So, take heart, my dear sailors and starnauts. We are winning. We are winning. The mission will continue on the Captain's Cast live stream with me, Captain Garrett, on the Swords and Starships channel live every Thursday and Sunday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it, and I will see you in the chat out there. Make sure to give me a follow on Locals at swordsandstarships.locals.com. It's free to follow and direct message me on Locals, and this will help defend against YouTube censorship and allow me to maintain a direct connection with you. The mission of this channel is to build a fellowship of sci-fi, fantasy, and action-adventure fans who prize freedom of speech and artistic expression above all. And if you choose to support the channel with a paid membership, there will be even more exclusive content in store, and I would certainly be honored to earn your support. Until then, hail to you, hail to the fellowship, and hail to the Iron Age of entertainment.